Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for our February release hop. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's tree stump die, their Booth Easter Add Ons, their Gnome dies Easter Add Ons 2, their Gnome dies Easter Add Ons, the Chubby Bunny die, the diagonal card mat die, our North Pole sign die, and Doodlebug's My Happy Place 6-inch pad, their Candy Stripe and Sprinkles 6-inch pad. Now, I have a piece of Paper Trank white cardstock, and I'm going to make an A2 size card front, so 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder, and this is Paper Trank white cardstock. I'm also using the Bunny Trail stamp set, along with the freebie, Some Bunny Tag Freebie. Remember, with $50 purchase, check out the rules. Okay, so now on the inside of this card, you'll see that I have paper cut from that My Happy Place. So this is a 1-inch strip, and then I've got some skinnier strips. And I also stamped the sentiment from the Some Bunny Tag Freebie, Happy Easter, and I sort of, cut it out with my paper trimmer, and I'm going to add that to the front. You'll see that I used also dot stripe in the 12-inch. That's what that pink is. So I'm just trying to line that up, and I'm using some Nouveau glue. The nice thing about glue is you have some wiggle time there. And then I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. So it's a nice, easy card. And then I have this Chubby Bunny that I cut from Paper Tray Ink Craft cardstock, and I'm just going to put some black behind his eyes and some pink behind his nose, because Leanna's crazy like that, right? So I'm just going to use scraps to kind of put that down, using my reverse tweezers to line them up. There we go. And now he's got a pink nose and black eyes. And I'm going to pop him on the inside of my card. I just love this Chubby Bunny die. It's super cute. I'm going to kind of have him kind of tilted on the interior of my card. There we go. And I'm going to use R21 and a Copic marker and flick on some pink in his ears and give him some cheeks, because why not, right? Don't bunnies all have pink cheeks? Probably not, but in Leanne land, they have pink cheeks, right? And I'm pulling out a secure white jelly roll pen and a number 10, and I'll add a few little freckles to those cheeks, because of course the bunnies have freckles, right? There we go. Now on my card front, I went ahead and I cut out our diagonal card mat die out of Paper Trank white cardstock. And then I also used pattern paper from that 6-inch pad from Doodlebug My Happy Place. It's just an all-over green pattern. You could use any green pattern from any company, right? So now I did cut a piece of cheapo cardstock to go behind. I think it was Nina Solar White 80 pound. And I cut that at 4 by 5.25 inches, which is roughly the size of this diagonal card mat. So I'm just giving myself a spot to stick down my layers, and then I'll add the whole thing to a card front. So this paper is from that same My Happy Place, and I'm cutting that 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card front. So I have a little bit of something going on in between the white of the edge of that card mat die and the white of the background of my card. So I'm just going to glue that down, and I'm using glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle time to get things straight and centered. There we go. And then I will stick that down on the front of my card base. I open up my card not just to show you the inside again. I open it to make sure it's in the right direction, because I have glued things upside down before. So now I always open my card up to make sure. There we go. So I will glue that down on the front of my card. There we go. And I will weight it down. I weighted it down with my Misty there. Now I'm going to put together this little North Pole sign. I cut the whole thing out of Paper Trank white cardstock, and then I used, the yellow is from that Doodlebug My Happy Place. It's actually two-toned. I used like a stripy piece of paper. And then I will stick my sentiment down on the front of my card, and this one says Bunny Trail. That's the neat thing about the Bunny Trail stamp set. You can use, put these sentiments on the center of those North Pole sign dies, and you've got a sign for most, like different seasons, right? So now I've got pink little stripes on my card front, and that paper also came from that Doodlebug My Happy Place. Now I'm going to put together these little bunnies. They look like the Chubby Bunny, but they're actually meant to be balloons with the Gnome Dies Easter Add-ons. So I cut those out of craft cardstock, and then you'll see that I put black paper behind the eyes. And then I'm using that same Copic marker, the R21, to add some pink to the ears. There we go. And so that's cut out of craft, like I said. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to this other bunny, but first I'm going to put on his black glasses, because of course, what bunny doesn't have black nerdy glasses, right? That's my favorite part of that Chubby Bunny die set. It just cracks me up. Okay, so I'm going to give him some glasses, lining them up using my reverse tweezers and that Nuvo glue. And I'm taking that same Copic R21 marker. I usually like to use my R20, but like it's gone missing right now. It's hidden in a mess on my desk somewhere. I'll have to find it. But R21 works as well. Next, I'm going to put some pink paper behind his face. Now I'm going to be using some sprinkles, some shape sprinkles for his eyes. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing with the pink. That's that pink dot stripe from Doodlebug, because that way he has a pink nose, right? The eyes will be covered up. Now these little ears are from that Gnome Dies Easter Add-ons as well, and I cut those out of the craft cardstock, and then the dot stripe for the ears as well from Doodlebug. Just adding those layers together with some Nuvo glue, and I do weight it down. So this is the green paper that was cut with that diagonal matte die from that My Happy Place 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. And I'm layering it up onto the pieces of Papertrink white cardstock. I just wanted everything to be level in the frame. So that's what I'm doing. Well, somewhat level. Remember, the green is going to make it like a little bit higher, but I'm going to have some stuff on the background of my card, and I thought it just would keep things, you know, nice and level. So I'm just going to layer up those pieces with my glue, and I do weight those down with an acrylic block or something in a minute. And I love this diagonal card matte die. It's lots of fun to use. And it's nice because you could use the same paper like I'm doing now, you know, the same paper. You can mix it up and use scraps and, you know, get a quilted look background, right? Which is fun. So I'm just sort of, you know, getting the lay of the land here, putting all my pieces in, and then I'm going to decide where things go. So I'm going to glue this first little piece down because nothing's going to go behind that one. Then this little bunny, I'm going to try to figure out which pieces are going to have things behind them or not. Otherwise, I'm going to stick these little layers down with some Nuvo glue. This one also is going to be okay to stick down. So I'm getting that all in place. Now this, I'm going to figure out where my little bunny's going to be. I'm going to trim off his body a little bit. I'm going to have him peeking out from behind the corner of this piece, like that. And then the ears are going to be sort of peeking out from there. I'm going to trim off the bottoms just so they're nice and flat. And then I'm going to have those kind of peeking out on these little pieces here. So I'm just trying to get them, you know, glued down nice and straight with my Nuvo glue. And then I will stick down the rest of that diagonal card matte die and get it in place. And I realize, oops, I better glue down this top piece first. So I'll get that one down. And then I'll stick my next layer down. So I've got a couple of peeking bunnies, right? And I will weight it down with an acrylic block. Next, I'm going to sort of get my little layout going. I'm going to have this little bunny kind of on the left, lower left. And I'm going to add the little eggs. I believe that was from the Build-A-Booth, what was it called? Build-A-Booth Easter Add Ons set. So I cut those out of paper from that My Happy Place and also from the Shape Sprinkles from Doodlebug. I'm just going to add the 3 little eggs, but first I've got to have my little peeking bunny here. I'm going to have this guy sort of peeking out as well. And then I'll add my little egg to cover him up mostly. There we go. And my little bunny trail. So next, these are all from that tree stump die. I used them the other day. And these are cut from that same new leaf cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm going to sort of layer down this grass along the bottom edge. There we go. So it's kind of fun. And like I said, there's a little bit of a curve to the bottom of this grass. So if you want it to lay straight across the bottom, you've got to trim it straight. It's not like the tops have to match up perfectly. It is grass after all, right? So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to add in, trying to figure out where all my pieces are going to go. So I'm going to have this bunny kind of peeking out from behind this grass. And I'm kind of following the cue of my background, you know, those diagonal rows, as to, you know, to give myself a layout of this card. So I'm sticking down these 2 little pieces of grass. So this bunny's kind of peeking out. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to do that with this bunny, but I decide against it. I thought, no, I don't like the look of that. So I'm going to add this last piece in between those 2 eggs, and they're going to sort of end up, you know, covering the center behind my sign. There you have it. So kind of fun, right? There. And then I will pop up my little sign with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'm just peeling off the release paper, and then I will get them all in place. There we go. There it is. And isn't that cute? I just think it's adorable. So next I'm pulling out these shape sprinkles, and these are called an eye for an eye. And I'm just going to use 2 of the small ones in the eyes. You notice I did put a little dab of glue in there, just because, you know, I want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. There we go. I'm just going to make sure they're stuck down well. And then I end up using some sprinkles on the background as well. These are from the Sweet and Spooky assortment, so they're Halloween sprinkles, right? But I'm going to use the pink. And I'm going to sprinkle a couple of them so, you know, we have, remember, odd numbers, groups of 3, all that jazz. So I'm trying to decide where these little guys are going to go. And then I'm going to, so I have 2 in my lower right, and I'll put 3 in my upper left. Just adds a little bit of shine, and I think just makes it a little bit cuter, right? Isn't that cute? There we go. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to go on that hop. Remember, it is a blog hop, so get hopping, get shopping, because, you know, this is an adorable release. Remember, if you use any of these products, or even when you get your release, tag us on social media. We'd love to see you opening it or using it, what you create. We'd just love to see it. So thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.